So welcome to our concluding class, probability of success and failure. Now, let P be probabilities, let P and Q be probabilities of success and failure. So we define this as P plus Q is equal to 1, which means that probability of success will be equal to 1 minus probability of failure, or Q is equal to 1 minus P. What we are saying is, in essence, is that if A is an event of success and A complement here is an event of failure, then we can say that probability of A complement is equal to 1, which means if you make probability of A the formula, it will give you 1 minus probability of A complement, and this as well. So let's take example on this type of question. Now consider this question. The probabilities that two hunters A and B will hit a target are these. That is, hunter A, probably the hunter A will hit the target is 3/5, and hunter B is 2/7. We have to find the probability that hunter B. Anytime we are giving these probabilities already, then they are talking about probability of success and failure. Because in this case now, they say probability that hunter will hit a target. Hitting the target will be a success. And probably there's a chance that the hunters will not hit the target. That is talking about success and failure. That is how to know which one are they talking about. Because here, they will hit a target means it's talking about success and failure, because they may hit it and they may not. Now let's consider the solution. In order to solve this problem, the first thing is that we need to know what is given to us, which is probability of A. Is given there as 3/5. That is probability that A will hit the target. Also, we are given probability that B will hit the target, and that is 2/7. The second one, if you have written this, which is the given question, you must, since we have a chance that they may not hit the target, so we have probability of A complement. You find it immediately, which is failure, and we are going to use this 1 minus this. So our answer is 1 minus probability of A, which is 3/5, and 1 minus 3/5 will give me 2/5. Also, probability that B will not hit it, that is B complement. That will also be 1 minus 2/7, and that will be equal to 5/7. So from this place, we can now come to our question. It says hunter B will hit the target. That's our first question. Hunter B will hit the target, and there are two people there. And if hunter B will hit the target, definitely hunter A will not hit the target. So we are going to write it like this: probability of hunter B intersection hunter A complement. That is, if hunter B hits the target, hunter A will not hit it, because they have told us that it is hunter B that will hit the target from the question. Definitely hunter A will not hit the target, so we write it as A complement, and that will be probability of B times probability of A complement. Now, what's probability of B is given to us as 2/7, then times probability of A complement. Here we have found that to be 2/5. That will give me 4/35. If you look at the second question, both will hit the. If they say that both of them will hit the target, definitely hunter A will hit the target, and hunter B will also hit the target. Put intersection there, and that is multiplication. Hunter A will hit the target, and since they have said that both of them will hit the target, so what is the answer here? I have 3/5 times 2/7. So this also gives me 6/35. Now the third one says none of them will hit the target. If none of them will hit the target, that means hunter A will not hit the target. I will write it as complement, will not miss, and hunter B also will not hit the target. I only need to look for what is probability of hunter A will not. Hunter A complement is 2/5, hunter B complement is 5/7. So this is 2/5 times 5/7, and that will give me 2/7. The next one is one of the hunters will eat the target. These are one of them will eat the target, but they don't tell us whether it is hunter A that will eat the target or hunter B that will eat the target. So the only thing, our only suggestion can be, is either hunter A eat the target, hunter B did not eat the target, or if hunter B eat the target and hunter A did not eat the target. So I will now need to write what is probability of hunter A. It is given to me there. Let's check it once again as 3 over 5. And probability of hunter B complement is 5 over 7. This all means plus probability of hunter B, that is 2 over 7, and times probability of hunter A complement, that one is found to be 2 over 5. Here will give me 15 over 35 plus this one will give me 4 over 35. Finally, our answer there is 19 over 35. So that will be the answer. Let's consider another question on this. Another question here. 3 friends, Martins, Paul, and Ayomide, took test. Their probabilities of passing the test are 2 over 5, 3 over 4, 4 over 7. That is, the probability 2 over 5 goes to Martins, 3 over 4 goes to Paul, 4 over 7 goes to Ayomide, respectively. Find the probability that only Martins will pass. Now, before we solve this, the first thing is, let's write their probabilities out. Probability of Martins, probability of Paul, and probability of Ayomide. Probability of Martins gives me 2 over 5. Probability of Paul gives me 3 over 4. While probability of Ayomide gives me 4 over 7. These are their probabilities of success. We need to find their probabilities of failure. For Martins, I will write complement. That will be 1 minus 2 over 5. And that will give me 3 over 5. Also, for Paul, I'll put complement as well. That is 1 minus 3 over 4. That is 1 over 4. And probability of Ayomide's complement, I'll put 1 minus 4 over 7. That is 3 over 7. I can now move straight to the question. The first question says only Martins will pass. Probability of only Martins. If only Martins will pass, definitely the other two will fail. That I will now write it like this. Martins will pass, Paul fail, Ayomide fail. That is only, this signifies that only Martins will pass. This P complement means Paul will fail and Ayomide will fail. Now, for Martins to pass, there I will have 2 over 5 times P complement, that is 1 over 4. A complement, I will have 3 over 7. So that our final answer is, our answer is 6, 2 times 3 is 6. And this is 20, this is 140, which can still be cut down to get your final answer. So that is the answer to the question. For the second question says, all of them will fail. All of them will fail means that Martins will fail, Paul will fail, Ayomide will fail. So in that case, I'm going to have all these complement here. That is 3 over 5 times 1 over 4 times 3 over 7. So finally, there the answer is 9 over 140. C says C says all of them will pass. All of them will pass means that Martins will pass, Paul will pass, Ayomide will pass. And for all of them, we have everything here. That is 2 over 5 times 3 over 4 times 4 over 7. So this will give me 24 over 140. We can still cut this down to get our answer. Now let's consider the fourth one. The fourth one is here. This is D. This is E and F. For the D, one of them will pass. They will pass. They don't tell us whether it is Paul or Martins or Ayomide that will pass. They just told us that one of them will pass. So the only suggestion we can have are this follow. It's either Martins pass. They say one of them. If Martins pass, definitely Paul will fail, Ayomide will fail. And if Paul passes, then Martins will fail, Ayomide will fail. And if Ayomide passes the test, then Martins will fail, Paul will fail. So in that case, I will need to write out all this. So for this one, for Martins to pass, I'm going to have 2/5. For Paul to fail, so we just need to insert the values we have. And A complement is 3/7 plus ordinary P is 3/4 times M complement 3/5 and A complement 3/7 plus ordinary A 4/7 times M complement is 3/5 times P complement is 1/4. Finally, there we have 6/140 plus this is 3/4. That is 27/140 plus that is 12/140. So we should be able to finish that off. And the last one there says at least 2 of them will pass. If at least 2 of them will pass, definitely I will consider pass is greater than or equal to 2. So what this simply means is that I will have 2 passes, then I can also have 3 passes. That is 2 of them will pass and 3 of them will pass. Now the question now is that how do we find two of them will pass? If 2 of them will pass, definitely I can have this. I can have Martins pass. Have this for 2 passes. So that is Martins and Paul pass, Ayomide fail, or Martins and Ayomide pass, Paul fail, or Paul and Ayomide pass, Martin fail. That is for 2 passes. And for 3 passes is Martins pass, Ayomide, Paul pass, and Ayomide pass. Then we need to substitute this value. What P means, we should come to this place again. We check what they mean. So we have everything here. Just substitute it to get our answer. So when we substitute, we are going to have. So we have this. M is this. P is this. A prime is this. So we need to check it inside the problem solution. Then at the end it gives us 86/140. Then we can still simplify this further to get our final answer. Now we take this as an assignment. So pause it. Take this as an assignment. 3 friends have bet in a race. Their probabilities of passing are 4/5, 6/9, and this respectively. They agree that if one of them wins, they will have a party. Find the probability of the party. So that is the assignment. Another important concept under this probability is addition formula. We say that if A and B are any events, then probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Or probability of A intersection B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus this. These are called addition formula. Now, let's take an example. If A and B are any events such that probability of A is this, probability of B is this, and probability of A is this, find probability of A intersection B. Now, they ask us to find probability of A intersection B. That means we are using this second one. Although they are the same thing, we only made this formula. We are only playing with this first one. So this first one is still the second. So I'm going to use this second one, which says probability of A intersection B is this. So I'm going to use this, which I have used. Then I'll substitute the values that they gave me here. Probability of A is 0.32 plus probability of B is 0.59 minus probability of A union B is 0.46. Finally, if you simplify this, our answer is 0.45. So that is that about addition formula. Now, this addition formula now have conditions. It has conditions because sometimes this addition formula will change when the condition occurs. Now, the first condition is what we call mutually exclusive event. Mutually exclusive events. Two events are said to be mutually exclusive if they cannot occur simultaneously. Two events that cannot occur at the same time is what we call mutually exclusive events. For example, sleeping and walking, death and life. So those are the two events, and many others. It simply means word and opposite. If they say there are two events, two mutually exclusive events. Events are said to mutually if they cannot occur at the same time. That is the meaning of two mutually exclusive. You can think of other examples. Now, if A and B are mutually exclusive simply means a disjoint event. We can call it disjoint event. So if A and B are mutually exclusive, then probability of A intersection B is 0. Because if two events are disjoint, we have said that there will be no common element between them. In that case, their probability is 0. Since their probability is 0, the addition formula will become this. Because this is the addition formula here. A union B is equal to A plus B minus A intersection B. But A and B are mutually exclusive. Definitely, this one has become 0. Then the addition formula will now become probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. That is what will happen if two events are mutually exclusive. This is A. So we are going to have the union will become just addition. Another condition is what we call independent event. Independent event being an opposite of mutually exclusive event. We say that two events A and B are independent. So two events A and B are independent if the occurrence of one does not affect the other. That is opposite of mutually exclusive events. So if A and B are independent, then probability of A will become probability of A times probability of B. So the addition formula will become this. Because this is the addition formula. Probability of A union B is A plus B minus A intersection B. And A intersection B has become A times B. That means probability of A union B will become probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A times probability of B. So when you are dealing with this condition, the condition will only be changing the intersection inside the addition formula. For mutually exclusive, the intersection becomes 0. While for independent, the intersection becomes multiplication. So let's take an example on this. Now, let's take this example. Let A and B be any events such that probability of A union B is this, probability of A intersection B is this. Find probability of A if, number 1, A and B are mutually exclusive. 2, if A and B are independent. Now, we are given this, probability of A union B is this, probability of B is this. We are looking for probability of A. Since they said that the first one, A and B are mutually exclusive, we will need to use the formula for mutually exclusive events. And this is what we are going to use. So using that, I've written it here. So this is the formula we use since they say that A and B are mutually exclusive. From that question, we have been given this, A union B. We are not giving probability of A, but we are giving probability of B to be this, 0.35. If you make probability of A the same formula, we are going to have 0.70 minus 0.35. So that our answer is equal to 0.35. So that is our answer. B says A and B are independent. The second one says if A and B are independent. So which one are we using? We are using this one, this formula, and that is what we have written here. So we only need to use what is given to us. Probability of A union B is 0.70. Probability of A is not given. That is what we are looking for. We are not using this one. Probability of B is given to us to be 0.35 minus probability of A is not given, but probability of B is given to be 0.35 probability of A. Now let's collect the like terms. I'll take this to this place so that we have 0.35 equal to probability of A minus 0.35 probability of 0.35 probability of A. If I subtract this, it will give me 0.35. Also, if I subtract this one is, the coefficient of this one is 1. You can see that they are the same thing. Probability of A, probability of A. The coefficient of this one is 1, while this one is 0.35. If I subtract it, I'll just say that 1 minus 0.35, and that will give me 0.65 probability of A. Finally, if I make probability of A the same formula, I'm going to have 0.35 divided by 0.65. Then use your calculator to finish the rest. That is that about independent and mutually exclusive events. We are now moving to what we call conditional probability. Conditional events. The conditional probability of A, given that an event has already occurred, let's say an event B has already occurred, is given as this. We say probability of A slash B. That one is equal to probability of A intersection B over probability of B. That means I can. So that means if I have M slash N, I can just say it is probability of M intersection N over probability of N. That is the general formula. So this means that probability of M, given that N has occurred. And that simply means, let's say we are talking about certain number of students. Let's say I want to consider all the female students in a certain higher institution. Then that will be female student in the higher institution is N. If I now say that, okay, out of the female students, how many are brilliant? So that means it's a conditional probability. That is out of these female students, not out of all the students. Out of the female students, how many are brilliant? That is this M. And the probability is given as this. Now, let's take some examples. Now, if probability of A union B is 0.5, probability of B is this, probability of A is this, and probability of B slash, find probability of B slash A. The first thing is, I know that probability of B slash A is equal to probability of B intersection A over probability of A. So that means we need probability of B intersection A, or A intersection B is still the same thing. We have been given probability of A already. How do we find probability of B intersection A? I'll use the addition formula. You know, probability of A intersection B simply means, so probability of A intersection B will give me this. Now we have been given probability of A to be 0.39 there, probability of B to be 0.46 minus probability of A union B to be 0.45. So if I simplify this, it will give me 0.35. Now I can now find probability of B slash A. Probability of B slash A will now be probability of B intersection A over probability of A. Probability of B intersection A is 0.35. Probability of A, which is here, is 0.39. Then we finish it from our calculator. Let's consider another example. Let's consider another example here. If A and B are any events such that probability of A intersection is this, and probability of B is this, find all this. The first one, we have to find probability of A intersection B. Don't forget that this is complement, which we have treated under probability of success and failure. We know that probability of this is same thing as 1 minus probability of the complement. We did it the other time. So the answer is 1 minus 0.46. And 1 minus 0.46 will give me 0.54. The second one now says I should find probability of A union B. Probability of A union B from the formula is this, but in this place we are not giving probability of A. We are giving probability of A complement. So we need, but in this question it is probability, this formula is probability of A that we see there. So we need to find probability of A, which is probability of which is 1 minus probability of A complement. And our A complement there is 0.72. So 1 minus 0.72 will be, so it gives me 0.28. So I cannot find my probability of A union B. My probability of A union B will not probability of A. What's probability of A now? 0.28 plus our probability of B in that place is 0.32 minus probability of A intersection B. What we got in A intersection B is 0.54. So we now need to simplify this. And when we simplify this, 0.28 plus 0.32 minus this will give me 0.06. So that is that about that. And the last one there, probability of A slash B. Probability of A slash B is probability of A intersection B over probability of B. So our probability of A intersection B in that question is 0.54 divided by probability of B. Our probability of B in the question is 0.32, though this is not possible. Another interesting one. If probability of A union B is this, find probability of the first thing. Let's find probability of A intersection B. I'll just use the formula, addition formula directly. Use this formula. Then probability of A is there, which is 0.3. Probability of B, while probability of A union B. So if we simplify this further, we are going to have 0.45. It's our probability of A intersection B. Now, the second one says I should find probability of A intersection B complement. A intersection B complement. Whenever we are given this simply means probability of A minus probability of A intersection B. That is, B is not there. Now, our probability of A has been given to be 0. In the question is probability of A union B is 0.55, B is 0.50, while probability of A is 0.6. So this is the first one we are looking for, and this is the formula. This is our probability of A, this is our probability of B minus this. So if you substitute this, we are going to have, so that will give me 0.55. Now, I have told you that this is a formula. Whenever you are giving A intersection B complement, that is probability of A minus probability of A intersection B. Even you are giving probability of B complement intersection A is still B intersection A complement is probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Now let's consider this. Probability of A is 0.6 from the given question. Probability of A intersection B has been found there to be 0.55. So finally our answer is 0.05. That is for the solution. And the third one, we have to find probability of A complement slash B. And probability of A complement slash B is probability of A complement intersection B over probability of B. So this one is not possible because of the values we got, but that is the formula. For D, we are given probability of B complement slash A. B complement slash A is probability of B complement intersection A over probability of A. Thank God we have found B complement intersection A, this is it here, to be 0.05 divided by probability of A. In that place, our probability of A is given to be 0.60. So you finish it. The next one, the E, probability of what is inside E? Probability of A complement slash B complement. And that will be probability of A complement intersection B complement over probability of B complement. We need to apply De Morgan's law here. You know, if I apply De Morgan's law, it's same thing as A union B all complement over probability of B complement. And this will be probability of A. If I apply success and failure formula, this will be 1 minus probability of A union B. Probability of A union B in the question is given to be 0.55 over this one too. Probability of B complement will be 1 minus probability of B. Our probability of B is 0.5. So this will be 0.45 over 0.5. So that will be D. So you need to simplify this with your calculator to get the final answer. Good day to you all and welcome to the concluding class of the probability. Bayes' principle. We recall from the conditional probability. We recall that probability of A intersection A slash B is probability of A intersection B over probability of B. Something like this. We recall from this place we deduce this rule, which we call Bayes' principle or Bayes' theorem. Now, if you are not considering events A1 and A2 such that B has occurred before, then probability of A slash B will become this, which means our B is being represented by these two. And generally, we can have it like this. This is what we call Bayes' principle, or we call it Bayes' theorem. Now let's consider example on this. Example 1. At Yaba College of Technology, 40% of the students are female, while 60% are male. It is observed that 30% of the female and 50% of the male are smokers. If a student is picked at random, what is the probability that the student is, the first question, a smoker, B is a male smoker, and C is a female smoker? How do we solve this question? We start by saying, by considering this, 40% are female. So I can write it as probability of female is 40%. This is simply 0.40. Probability of the male there is given to be 60%. 60%, which is 0.6. Also, the question here says that 30% of the female are smokers, which I can write it as this. Probability of smokers female, that one is 30%, which is 0.3. Also, it is given there that smokers, the male that smoke, where is it? 50% of the male are smokers. So I can now write that one as 50%. That is 0.5. How do we do this? By the theorem. You can see the theorem again. You can see that B slash A is being multiplied by probability of A. So that means that this probability of female and probability of female smoker will be multiplied together like this. I will say that probability of female times probability of female smoker. I'll multiply them together so that I will get 0.40 times 0.3. So this will give me 0.12. Also, I'll do the same thing for male. Probability of male times probability of male smoker. That one is this times this. That will be 0.60 times 0.50. And that should give me 0.30. Now, the first question there says, a student is picked at random. What's the probability that the student is a smoker? To show that the student, to find the smoker, our answer is just a probability of smoker. It will be, if I use the theorem, look at the theorem. You can see that probability of B is being represented by the result of the multiplication. So probability of the smoker will just be probability of male times this plus probability of female times probability of male smoker slash female. So what that simply means is that I'll add these two results together. That is just it. After I've multiplied, so our answer is 0.12 plus 0.30. If I add it together, my answer will be 0.42. And the second one that says, the B says, the student picked is a male smoker. If it's a male smoker, this is a male smoker here. It gives me 0.30. I will not say that probability of male smoker will be equal to, if I use the theorem again, you can see probability of this over probability of B. But the B we are talking about here is this S that we got. So our answer is just the male smoker, which is 0.30, divided by what we got here, 0.42, divided by this. So we use our calculator to finish. For the last one there, so we'll now pick the one for female. So the one for female is where is it? This is it, 0.12. Then we divide by our answer here. That is 0.12 divided by 0.42. And that is it. This one has given me 5/7. This one will give me 2/7. So let's consider another interesting one. Example 2. A factory produces an item using 3 machines A, B, C, which account for 20% and this output respectively. That is, machine A produces 20, B produces 30, and C produces 50. Now we are now told that out of the item that machine A produces, 5% are defective. 3% of machine B items are defective, while 1% of machine C are defective. Now the question now says that if they select an item randomly and it is observed that the item is defective, what is the probability that the item that is defective is from machine A or machine B, machine C? The first thing is I need to know what is probability of it. It has been given to be 20%. Then immediately I will need to find machine the defective from machine A. They have been given to be 50%, to be 5%, which is 0.05 here. Also for machine B, we have 30%, this is it. And the defective from machine B, we have 3%, which is this. Also for machine C, the same thing, 50% is machine C and 1% for the defective. So to find the probability that the item selected at least is defective, what we do is we multiply this together from the theorem. This times this, this times this, this times this, and we add it. That's why we have 0.2 times this, 0.3 times this, plus 0.5 times this, and that will give me 0.024. Now let us now consider the first question. For the first question there, we have to find the probability that the defective item is from machine A. So I'll just write it like this: A/defective. So I only need to pick the one for A, these two, that is 0.2 times 0.05 over the defective, the probability of defective that we found there, which is 0.024. The same thing will be for machine B. We say that machine B that are defective, I'll pick this for machine B, that is 0.003 times 0.3 over the same thing, 0.024. And finally for machine C, it's still the same thing. That will be 0.5 times 0.01 over 0.24. So probability of the C that are defective will be 0.5 times 0.01 over 0.24, 0.024. So our calculator should help us out here. So that is that about Bayes' principle or Bayes' theorem.